let's talk a little Cedric here. When did you guys, how long have you guys been together?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord. Look, about 10 years.
Hell yeah.
Woo. Look.
Listen, I know
10
it's crazy. Time flies. John
right.
and I we just had our 5th wedding anniversary, but this fall will be 9 years. And it's like, whoa, dude, what? How'd that happen?
Yeah, we've been together for 10 years. Um, yeah, I say 10 years collectively. I'm not counting the time we had to off, but
It's
Champ
fine.
yeah, that's fine. But yeah, about 10 years. Married for almost 4. So yeah, it'll be 4 in June.
Oh, so like almost the same as us, like in and around that
Yeah.
same little window. How did you guys get together? What was that first date like? What was this love struck moment that happened between you two?
Well, I saw him at a pro wrestling show called Pro Wrestling Evo in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was Concord, North Carolina. My friend was like, "Hey, can you drive me to my show? I need it." My friend Rob was like, "I just need help." Da, 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 da. And I was his boss at the time. I was working at GameStop. I was like, "All right, fine. I'll take you to your show. Give me gas money. It's whatever." I'm thinking it's 30 minutes away. That mug was 3 hours and like 10 minutes away.
What?
Renee, like,
Thank God it wasn't this day and age with these gas prices. Shit.
Listen, I drove an Acura TSX at that time, a straight 6. He did not know how to drive stick shift. So it was just me. It was 6 hours and like 25 minutes because I lived out in the boonies, North Carolina. Honey, I learned a lesson that day. I tell you what.
Oh my God, you're probably on had like a printed out map quest, like shit.
Man, listen, no, like I had like it was a souped up car, so I had like a GPS in my car. Like I was making a little money.
Yeah, I guess you know what? I kind of forgot that was a thing, that there was like the plug-in GPSs, or they were like in the car. Right. Yes, I omitted.
Yeah. Like we went and got it a little custom, so you press it and then it opens up and there it goes or whatever.
Yeah.
So
we didn't go straight from MapQuest right to the iPhone. There was
right. There's a little something in between.
You're right. Yeah.
Man, I drove there and I'm dressed down. Like I have my Marvin the Martian hat on. I'm in scrubs. Like
shout out to Marvin the Martian.
Right. Like I was like, dude, I was looking a hot mess. But I saw Cedric walk past because I'm already angry. But I perked me right on up. I was like, oh, who is this man with that fat ass? Like he's booty. Like I love.
He is stacked in the back. Cedric is stacked in the back.
He is. I love booty in general. I don't care who it's on. I'm like, that's a nice butt. Like, so I saw him and I was like, I got to talk to this man. And then I looked at what I was wearing and I was like, damn you, Robin. I was like, come here, Robin. And he told me everything about him. And I was like, you know what? Bump it. So I stole his number out of Robin's phone. And I walked right up to Cedric and I introduced myself. And then I punched him in the chest. Very
as
like
one does.
Yeah, it's very like kids, grade school type of thing, because I just like to try stuff out just to see if it works, because confidence was just through the roof. So I punched him and he ended up liking it.
Great.
I felt like I just knew he ended up liking it. So I would go back to other shows and everything, and he'll never let me live this down. Like he was talking to somebody. They weren't dating. Let's just be clear. They were not dating.
With still fair game, everybody. Calm down.
Still fair game. So they were talking or whatever. And I ended up like telling him to walk me out to my car, like at this second show, and ended up giving him a kiss. And I was like, you're gonna come and see me one day, right? And then I look over the shoulder and homegirl's just staring and looking. I was like, you know what? If you had this man like you thought you did, you should have been over here like snatching him back, but you didn't. So so he ended up driving like back from an ROH show, and this is how I knew that it was real. He drove from Charlotte to Baltimore for an ROH show, and then from Baltimore down to Goldsboro, North Carolina, and I was like, oh, okay. no, I'm sorry, excuse me. He drove from Baltimore back home because he had to do something for his mom and drop his stuff off.
It's a good
And then
man
he
right
got back
there.
in the car that same day he got back, drove 3 hours to come see me. And then like it was magic. I was like, okay.
I think I love you.
I was like, I think this is going to be a little bit more. Because at first, I was just like, oh, I'm just thinking this is just going to be a fling. That's what I was looking
Mhm.
for at the time.
Mhm.
and it was just like, all right. We just had a moment where we looked at each other and it was like, I think this is a little bit more. And what kind of sealed it is that I told him to choose a movie for us to watch like the next day. And I have like hella movies. And he picked The Five Heartbeats, which is my favorite movie of
I
all
don't know the
time.
5 heartbeats. What is that?
Listen, it's a film by Robert Townsend, and it's like a parody of The Temptations, basically.
Okay.
So like you follow this group, and their woes and highs and lows and stuff of being signed and everything, and going out and singing and everything. It's just a heartfelt classic from
Oh,
Robert
I don't
Townsend.
know
Yes.
that one. Okay.
Oh man, I used to watch it all the time when I was like 3. Shouldn't have been watching when I was 3, but I was quoting it and watching it, and it's been my favorite ever since. And he picked that one out of hundreds,
Damn.
and
True
I just was like,
love.
true love.
Okay, so now you're married, husband and wife, you've got your baby, but you said earlier that the doctor said that you weren't supposed to have kids. What was
Yeah.
that moment like of being like, oh my God, I'm pregnant? What? Like, what was that like
Oh,
for you?
I was so nervous because at the time, like I was like, we cannot afford a child. That's immediately what went through my head. I was like, we cannot afford a kid. And I found out I was pregnant. And I came out with that test, Renee, and I was like, I don't know what Cedric's about to do. We have our little 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in Charlotte. I showed him the thing, the test. He went straight for the Ciroc. Like he downed it, like the whole bottle, and just went out in the balcony and just like had a good cry. He came
No.
back in drunk as hell, and he's like, "You gotta feed my baby in there." And like turned to like this mushy person. Like he ended up passing out on the floor. I had to pick him up. Luckily, I was like still strong.
Oh yeah, I know.
Right,
That still lasts. Don't lift anything over 20 pounds. Okay.
right, yeah. That was yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I was lifting his behind up, and this was like big set. So like I was heaving and hoeing, but it was interesting. An interesting night, but it was definitely comical. He had me rolling the entire
So
night, and
funny.
I was honestly, I thank God, because I was like, you know what? Doctor said this, but I know you have the final say so. And obviously, they're
Yeah.
wrong, because here I am, pregnant, not knowing
Yes.
what to do.
Oh my gosh. I mean, what a shock. It's such a crazy, like, I mean, John and I, we were trying when I got pregnant with Nora, but yeah, I mean, that was even then, because like I kept getting no, 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 that I was like, this is simply not happening. Was like about to start IVF, had it at the house, and then like we were sitting down on the couch and I went to go make a cocktail, and I'm like, let me just check really quick before I get into this little drinky poo here. And I was like, wait, what? As soon as it like turned positive and John passed me in the kitchen, I like had it on the kitchen counter. I was like, I'm just gonna wait and see, like wait for it to switch over. As soon as he walked in the kitchen, it switched over and said positive. And I was like, I shoved it in his face and he was like, what? He actually, he didn't even say
Oh,
anything. We had a Walgreens across the street from us. He like ran to the Walgreens, bought like 7 more pregnancy tests. Yeah, it was
he was
but
like,
it's
I
so
got
cool.
to make
Yeah,
sure.
I know. Let's make sure, because there has
Let's
been a
make
lot of
sure.
negatives until now. But yeah, it's so crazy. It's such
Yeah,
a
no, I
wild
knew it
story.
was gonna happen. Like I was like I
Yeah.
remember because I was in the hospital the second time, and you go through your stages, and I got to the stage of like, God, get me out of here, and out X, Y, and Z.
Uh-huh.
I was bargaining up a storm, and I said I would name my firstborn after Queen Esther, because I would read that book of the Bible like over and over again for the
Okay.
second bout of like Crohn's. And I was like, I'm naming after her, and her Hebrew name was Odessa. And so I
Oh.
should have known it was a girl. And
Mhm.
so I was like, well, I'm pregnant, and I was like, I already know her name.
Perfect.
I was like, I promised this a long time ago. This has nothing to do with you, Cedric. I was like, we can discuss the middle name. I was like, but that first name has to be this. And it was so like divine because like the important date in Queen Esther's life when she like helped the Jews was December 13th. And that was also AJ's birthday. So I was like,
wow.
I was like, okay.
That's crazy. What's
right.
the
I was
day?
like, I'm sorry. Johnson.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.